Unreal Engine. Dieses Spiel benutzt eine Autospeicherfunktion. Bitte schalte das Gerät nicht aus, wenn das Speicher so erscheint. Ja. The Forgotten City. War im Choice. Ich wollte es unbedingt mal anspielen. Ich habe nur Angst, dass, wenn wir es jetzt anspielen, ich mir die Folgen aufhebe und es vielleicht irgendwann komplett spiele. Aber ich weiß es noch nicht. Es soll sehr, sehr gut sein. Spiel. Eine Nachricht von einem Entwickler. Das Spiel wurde von einem Hauptteam aus 3 Personen über 4 Jahre hinweg entwickelt. Deine Unterstützung ermöglicht es uns weiterhin. Ja, das ist ein Rätselabenteuer, das auf vielen Weisen enden kann. Dabei zahlen die nicht die rohe Gewalt. Schicksal der Stadt liegt in deiner Hand. Okay. Sehr schnell. Gegenwart. Glaube ich nicht. Mond. Der Mann im Mond. Ihr müsst der Mann im Mond gucken. Tut mir leid, dass ich das immer wieder sage, aber das neue Video von Julian Bam ist so gut. Und ich habe so schlimme Ohrwürmer.
You're alive. When I dragged you out of the river, I thought you were never gonna wake up. I checked your pockets for ID, a phone, maybe. I hope you don't mind. But all I found was some loose change. So, wanna tell me who you are?
Körpertyp? Das ist ja schon mal geil. Ach, nehmen wir den. Keine Ahnung. Natürlich mein Bethesda-Charakter, auch wenn es kein Bethesda ist.
Well, it's nice to meet you. And I'm sorry to pry, but any idea why you were floating down the river?
Das ist
What's
wirklich
the last
Gegenwart.
thing you remember?
Ich war auf der Suche nach antiken Ruinen. Ich war auf einer Geheimmission. Ich war auf der Flucht vor dem Gesetz. Ach so. Ein jahrelanges Studium der Geschichte gibt Einblick in die Welt der Antike. Okay, das ist die Charaktererschaffung. Du hast eine vom Militär aufgegebene Schusswaffe, aber nur 10 Kugeln. Du musst sie mit Bedacht einsetzen, denn es gibt keine Möglichkeit, neue zu bekommen. Deine Zeit auf der Flucht vor den Behörden hat dich zu einem guten Läufer gemacht. Du bist 25% schneller sprinten. Dein kürzlich aufgedrehtes Kopfraum hat deine Schmerztoleranz erhöht, sodass du 50% schwerer auszuschalten bist. Klappt das da?
Oh, you're an archaeologist? Then you'll definitely want to hear this. I don't know if it's exactly what you're looking for, but there are some ruins just behind you. Roman, I think. I need you to go in there and see if you can find a guy named Al for me. He went in there a few hours ago, and he hasn't come out. I've been freaking out, wondering if he's trapped or injured or worse. I would have gone in after him, but he made me promise to stay here, no matter what. There's no way I'm leaving without him, so I'm just kind of stuck here, waiting. What I mean is, I was hoping you wouldn't mind going in there to find him. If you can do that, I can get both of you back to civilization in my boat. Please?
Weil die Zyklon ja gerade fragt, das hier ist The Forgotten City. The Forgotten City war ursprünglich wohl als Mod für Skyrim gedacht und hat sich dann verselbstständigt und wurde zu einem der größt gefeierten Indie-Spielen der letzten Jahre. Das heißt, das Spiel macht sehr, sehr, sehr viel richtig. Wenn du es schaffst, kann ich euch beide in meinem Boot zurückziehen und bitte fragen.
Oh, of course. Sorry, I don't mean to be pushy. What do you want to know?
Ja. Also, das habe ich so gelesen. Was ist deine Geschichte?
Oh, there's not much to tell. Feels like I've spent my whole life in a dead-end job with an endless commute. Know what I mean?
Nein. Dein Name?
Oh, I'd rather not say if it's all the same to you.
Okay. Wieso?
All right, fine. Sorry if I sounded cagey. It's just that
Ach so.
I don't always get the best reactions when I introduce myself. My name's Karen.
Ja, darf ich dann vielleicht den Manager sprechen? Na gut. Vielen Dank, dass du mein Leben gerettet hast, Karen.
You're welcome. Always happy to help. Was there anything else you wanted to ask?
Du meinst, Skyrim war genial? Achso, nee. Ach so, Celebrity Deathmatch. Ja, das ist toll. Wer ist
He's the guy who washed up on the riverbank not long before you did. I thought maybe you two knew each other.
Hä?
I guess not.
Die ist
But
seltsam.
maybe the two of you can piece together what you're doing here. In any case, you'll like him, I'm sure. Once you find him, that is.
Ganz kurzen Moment mal gerade. Ja, was ist denn? Na? Was? Ich bin ganz frisch geduscht. Meine Frau meint, es müffelt. Ja. So, Ich habe das sogar schon gespielt. Angefangen irgendwann. So, wo sind wir?
You really don't remember? We're in Italy. This river is the Tiber.
Was kannst du mir über die Ruinen erzählen? Der Anfang ist schon sehr seltsam.
Not much, really. But imagine what you might find in there. Priceless ancient artifacts.
Hast du versucht, um Hilfe zu rufen?
What am I, an idiot? You could hike a long, long way in any direction and never find another soul. Trust me.
So, Enderal ist aber keine Skyrim-Mod allein, sondern es ist eine Total Conversion. Macht Skyrim also zu einem komplett anderen Spiel. Und das habe ich also tatsächlich entweder schon angespielt oder mir einen großen Teil von einem Let's Play angeschaut. Genau. Ja. Nirim. Ich weiß nicht, ob ich beide angespielt habe. Ich weiß es nicht. So, das war alles.
Great. So you're ready to go look for Al?
Ja. Ich gehe wegen der kostbaren Artefakte hin, aber ich halte auch schon nach ihm.
My hero. The entrance is
Ja.
just past those columns behind you. Oh, and he left this here. But I think you'll need it more than I will.
Ich habe es gespielt, ich habe es nicht nur geguckt. Danke. Eine solide batteriebetriebene Taschenlampe. Also tatsächlich von der Grafik her und so könnte es tatsächlich, ja. Okay, ich habe bis jetzt noch keinerlei Stats. Ein Rucksack voll mit abgetragener Wanderkleidung und leeren Essenspaketen. Nichts Wertvolles bei, aber trotzdem scheint es seltsam, dass er ihn zurückgelassen hat. Oder? Warte mal.
If you're reading this, it means I've discovered the entrance to an ancient Roman city hidden deep underground. Its existence is long forgotten, all knowledge of it lost, except in the Latin inscription here. It reads, "You who wish to enter the city, step forth and be judged. The virtuous shall be rewarded with eternal life in paradise. The wicked shall find themselves showered in gold, but in vain, for this shall be their final resting place." Could an underground city have remained a secret for all this time? Could people have survived down there, against the odds? It seems there's only one way to find out. If I'm not back in an hour, I'm somewhere on the other side. Consider this an invitation. Or a warning. Alworth.
Wir wissen, wo er ist. Jetzt gucke ich mal ganz kurz. Gibt es hier noch irgendwas? Okay, es ist sehr deutlich. Das ist da keiner. Ah, doch. Nee, Alpha-Wände. Wir müssen da einfach rein. Oder? Ja. 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 Gut. Wir gehen rein. Oh. Ui. Da Wasser. Wow. Bis jetzt geht schon richtig gut. Finde den Eingang zur geheimen Stadt. Wow. Die Skulpturen sehen total geil aus. Also nicht im sexuellen Sinne. Womit? Aha. Es fängt echt gut an. Okay, jetzt weiß ich, wie es geht. Aha. Ein antikes römisches Mosaik, das eine göttlich aussehende Figur darstellt, die einen Mann in Gold verwandelt. Oh. Das sind keine Statuen. Archäologischer Einblick. Die vielen werden für die Sünden des einen leiden. Was steht aber sonst? Ne, sonst steht da nichts. Weiter. Ein römischer Gladiator im Laufhaltung. Was könnte ein Gladiator in die Flucht geschlagen haben? Der Typ, der sie alle in Gold verwandelt. Eine junge Römerin sieht so aus, als hätte sie im Leben gebettelt. Hm? Kann nicht sprechen. Hat was von Pompeji. Nur, dass es nicht Asche, sondern Gold ist. Machen wir doch mal. Danke. Ja, geht's nicht. Bis jetzt sehr schlauchig, aber das hat mich noch nie gestört. Ein römischer Militärkommandant, der versucht, sich von etwas loszureißen. Todesangst. Okay. Spielt sich sehr fluffig, muss man dazu sagen. Ne. Ich sag genau, wo es lang will. Alter. Ganz im Ernst, ne? Gut gemacht. Mhm. Mach mal 5. Um es zu probieren. Nee, also es will schon eine Römerin, die um Hilfe zu beten scheint, die nie kam. So. Ah.
To whoever reads this, I'm sorry you had to find me like this. And worse, you'll suffer the same fate I did. I've spent a lifetime in this place, going around and around in circles, searching for a way out. The inscription was right. There is no way back.
Ach so.
And here there are only two options. Death, or that godforsaken doorway into the past. I made the mistake of stepping through it. I wanted to set things right. And I tried. I really tried. Whatever I did, it took me right back to the beginning. Don't make the same mistake. Better to end it all now. And find out what awaits you beyond that portal.
Richtig. Richtig, linear bedeutet nicht unbedingt schlecht. Es kann sogar für mich sehr, sehr gut sein, weil ich, weißt du, ich will immer wissen, wie es weitergeht. Ich will das immer suchen. Unforgiven war ja auch irgendwie linear, also. Ja, eine Kleidung trägt. Das muss L sein, aber wie ist das möglich? Kein Problem. Da ist das Portal und da müssen wir hin. Und ich glaube, dann wird es trotzdem, es bleibt nicht linear, bin ich mir relativ sicher. Ich bin in Panik. Was? Was hat sie gesagt? Darf ich das nochmal hören? Ja. Hier entlang, ja, ich will doch. Katze hat irgendwas gemacht. So. 17. Hier ist das Portal. Überreste eines Menschen. Wer auch immer das war, ist vor sehr langer Zeit gestorben. Aber er war... Also ich glaube jetzt schon, dass ich Al bin, irgendwie. Die Musik erinnert mich gerade sehr an Esknels. So ähnlich, ja. Hallo. Oh. Wow.
Salve, friend. I'm Galerius. Mind telling me who you are and what you were doing in the Shrine of Proserpina?
Resultat, ich komme aus der Zukunft.
Yeah, you know, agricultural goddess of springtime? You're not from around here, are you? Oh, I see what you did there. Changing the subject like that. Nice try. But I'll ask again. Who are you? And what were you doing in the shrine? What? I'm speaking Latin. You are too, although your accent's a little strange. And you've just done it again. You're a sly one, aren't you?
Nein.
One more time. Who are you and what were you doing in that shrine?
Ich bin Resultat, ich komme aus der Zukunft.
No idea what you're talking about. Oh, wait. Are you a bit, you know, not right in the head?
Damals
That's
durfte
all
ich das
right,
noch sagen.
friend. Everyone's welcome here.
Was für ein Datum haben wir denn?
We sort of lose track of the date down here, but it feels like the beginning of spring to me, so I'd say early March?
Ja.
It's 817 AUC. Sorry, you look confused. 817 years since the founding of Rome. Which part of the empire are you from exactly?
Das hilft mir nicht, ist das vor oder nach Christi Geburt. Wie doof. Aha, also ist es 65 CE?
CE? No idea what you're talking about. But listen, most folks seem a bit confused when they get here, but you seem very lost, and in more ways than one. So let me make this nice and simple for you. Live by our law here, and we'll all get along just fine.
Gesetzen.
Not laws, law. There's just one, the golden rule, and the punishment for breaking it's, well, it's kind of horrific. But our magistrate insists we take all newcomers to see him, so I guess I'll let him fill you in. So then, you coming? Follow me. When I first arrived, I couldn't believe there were people living down here.
Macht's automatisch.
As you can see,
Nee,
we've got a
ernsthaft?
nice little community now.
Hat eine...
Only 23 of us at the moment.
Unfassbar.
If you count the 3 who are missing.
Ich muss nichts machen.
No idea how,
Folgt ihm in der
nobody
richtigen
knows the way
Geschwindigkeit.
out.
Ich habe einfach
But it's
gedrückt.
just big and dark enough to get lost
Warum
in
ist das
if you're not
erste
careful.
Spiel, was das hinkriegt?
Aren't you going to introduce me to your pretty new friend, Galerius?
Hallo?
Keep it in your loincloth, Aurelia. I'm taking her to see the magistrate.
That pompous old bore won't be magistrate for much longer. Anyone who helps vote him out today drinks at my bar for free tonight.
Bin jetzt schon verliebt.
Politics. I'd stay clear of it and
Eine
her,
Folgetaste.
if I were you. She's it's not my place to say. Down on your right is our farm, where I grow all the food you'll ever want. As long as all you want is leek, cabbage and wheat. Huh. That one usually gets in trouble.
The bloodless shadows wander without flesh or bone.
Don't mind Livia. She means well. She's just
Einmal
been
drücken.
in a bad place since. Well, you know.
Ich kann mich
I don't know what
umschauen,
happened to her.
aber...
Up here on your
Macht's
right
automatisch.
is the chasm. If you've got a weapon, it belongs way down at the bottom. Up on your left is the forum, where you can visit the market or get yourself patched up in Lucretia's clinic in the Shrine of
Kann
Apollo.
jederzeit mich anders bewegen, aber wenn
Most
ich einmal
of
auf
us
E
have
drücke, dann
almost
folgt er ihm
nothing.
wieder.
Just what we had on us when we arrived, and what we've been able to make and scrounge up since. And this central plateau
Ist
is
das
where the
gut.
magistrate and the other patricians live. So don't expect a warm welcome.
Galerius, you're meant to be working the farm, not trudging dirt into the villas.
Take it easy, Horatius. I was just taking our new friend here to see the magistrate.
Well, he's asked me to
Dass
escort
er mir dann
you
alles
first.
erklärt während dem Weg. Wow, ist das toll.
Go, now.
You'd better go with him. But just remember, they're not like you and me. Don't let them use you.
What was that? What did you just say?
I said it'll take some getting used to.
Yeah, I'm watching you, farm boy. Greetings, citizen. My name's Horatius. Magistrate Sentius asked me to escort you to him personally. Follow me, please.
Info und
I
Gutes.
expect the magistrate wants to brief you about the Golden Rule. It shouldn't take too long. He's busy preparing for the election later today. Follow me. The only thing you really need to understand right now is the Golden Rule.
Ja, dann macht's automatisch. Ich
Let
muss
me
nur
see
die
if
Maus
I can
bewegen.
explain it this way. When I was serving in the Legion, if there was a mutiny brewing in one cohort, the legate in charge wouldn't waste time finding the bad apples among hundreds. They just divided us into groups of 10, made us draw straws, and whoever drew the short straw had to be executed by the other 9. Didn't matter whether he'd done anything wrong. One of us in 10 would die for the crimes of the collective. We call it decimation. If that seems like rough
Ah,
justice
das
to
wusste
you,
ich nicht.
you're in for a rude shock. Because the Golden Rule is exactly 10 times worse. The magistrate can explain the rest. He's up these stairs.
Wow.
What now?
Was ist eure Geschichte?
I'm a legionary of the 1st Italica, but there's not a lot of fighting down here. So the magistrate has assigned me other duties. I act
Hast
as
du
the
das gerade
magistrate's
gesehen?
right-hand man, keeping an eye on his daughter, I should say, and the others, and making sure they're all behaving. I also keep a register of new arrivals.
Ihr seht's, ne? Hast du das gerade gesehen? Ich habe ihn angesprochen, er war hinter mir, er hat gezögert und hat sich langsam umgedreht. Das habe ich in dem Spiel so noch nie gesehen. Der hat hier
I'm
gelandet.
from Liguria, up north originally. I was doing all right for myself.
Weg.
12 years into my service. Had a nice girl lined up for when it was all over. Not anymore. She's probably figured I'm long gone and moved on by now.
Oh,
I try not to
das
think
sind so
about it.
Kleinigkeiten,
My
aber das ist
commander
echt
sent me to deliver
geil.
a message to Rome. While I was there, I thought I'd do something nice for my girl and pick up a little pendant from a silversmith. That's when the crowd started flooding through the streets, shouting fire. People screaming, trampling each other. Then some Genetricum fugitive tried to take advantage of the chaos and pinch my pendant. I remember chasing him through the crowds, down towards the river. And then, nothing. Blacked out and woke up near here. No idea how I ended up floating so far downriver. But I'm fortunate to be alive, I suppose.
Tut mir leid, das zu hören.
Ah, don't be. As Seneca the Younger said, difficulty strengthens the mind, as labor does the body. That said, Centilla's disappearance has been more difficult than I'd care to admit.
Was könnt ihr mir über den Magistrat
He's
erzählen?
one of the better commanders I've ever had, that's for sure. Good stoic. Lives by Seneca's words. Treat your inferior as you would wish your superior to treat you. Can't ask for much more than that.
Wisst ihr, wie man hier rauskommt?
I went around asking the same questions when I first arrived. Never did find a way out. But I learned how to accept my situation. To bear trials with a calm mind robs misfortune of its strength and burden. That's from Seneca the Younger, if you're interested.
Kann ich das Bürgerverzeichnis sehen?
I don't see why not. Just make sure I get it back by tomorrow.
Aurelia, Claudia, Comicus, Lucius, Equatia, Fabia, Calerius, Claudius, Hannibal, Horace, Kovac. Okay, Zusammenfassung. Okay.
Of course.
Was haltet ihr von der goldenen Regel?
Well, as I always say, it's kind of like a divine version of the practice of decimation in the Legion. By threatening to execute 1 in 10 men, the idea is to ensure order and discipline among everyone. And it works. If you knew you could be executed because your brother-in-arms is planning a mutiny, well, you'd bloody well watch him like 100-eyed Argus, wouldn't you? Because your only chance of saving yourself is to stop bad things before they happen. Makes us all responsible for keeping each other in check. It's
Wow.
brutal, of course, but effective. The Legion wouldn't be the most formidable force in the world without it.
Aber die Erklärung von Dezimierung, das war mir tatsächlich neu. An wen erinnert er mich denn? Mann.
What's done is done. I was forced to execute my brothers in arms, and those memories will always visit me in my sleep. But life is harsh, and I've come to accept my lot. As with the Golden Rule, I don't have any control over it, so railing against it would be like trying to stop the seasons or the tides. As Seneca the Younger wrote, true happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future, not to amuse ourselves with either hopes or fears, but to rest satisfied with what we have, which is sufficient. For he that is so wants nothing.
Da, wo ich herkomme, würde man das als Kollektivbestrafung nennen. Das ist ein Kriegsverbrechen. An wen erinnert mich der denn? Alter.
War crime. Isn't that a contradiction in terms? As Cicero said, in times of war the law falls silent.
Die Welten sind sehr verschieden.
Seems that way. War crimes. Ridiculous.
Ja, jetzt weiß ich's. Alles klar. Wow. Persönlicher Bekannter von mir, deswegen.
If you like.
Wen werdet ihr eure Stimme geben?
Not that it's any of your business, but my loyalty is and always will be with Sentius. Unfortunately, I don't think my vote is going to make any difference today. See, Domitius has been going around town, shoring up votes for Malleolus with lies, bribery, and intimidation. The man's a savage. But he's a gladiator, so people fear and respect him more than they should. Sentius knows about it, of course, but he doesn't have the same rat cunning as Malleolus. This place will be different with that sleaze at the helm. But I try not to worry about things I can't change.
Kann ich helfen?
I appreciate the thought, but you're new here, and I just can't see how you could make an impact in the time between now and the election this afternoon. In any case, if you're interested in the election, go and have a chat with Equitia, the Vestal Priestess. She'll be overseeing proceedings.
Finde einen Weg, Malleus aus der Wahl aussteigen zu lassen. Okay.
All right?
Gut. Hoch.
We're finally alone. I assume you already know who I am. May I know your name? A curious name to match a curious accent. But I digress. I see you have the piercing and astute eyes of Athena. You must be a woman of great learning. We're always happy to welcome another scholar to our little community. Equitia will be delighted to meet you, I'm sure. Now, you're probably wondering why I summoned you, and I'll get to that. But first, take a look at this wondrous place, would you? A secret city built deep in the mountains, many hundreds of years ago.
Nicht automatisch. Die Münze. Ich habe das nur nicht richtig eingeschätzt. Man konnte ja auswählen, was für ein Typ man ist. Ich dachte, das wären nur verschiedene Körpertypen. Ich habe die Frau nicht als Frau erkannt. Sie ist wunderschön.
Indeed. More importantly, consider the miraculous community we've built here over the last 7 months. 22 complete strangers brought together by the fates, living and working together in our own little paradise. And in all that time, not a single sin has been committed. No fights, no theft, nothing. Have you ever witnessed something so extraordinary as a city without sin?
Kann ich nicht behaupten.
Nor could I until I came here. But the reason for this miracle is as simple as it is terrifying. If even one person commits a sin here, every last one of us will die. You see, the builders of this place, whoever they were, left inscriptions warning the many shall suffer for the sins of the one. From
Was für eine krasse Story.
Breaking the law here will anger the gods and provoke a terrible punishment. Like the curses of Medusa and Midas combined, turning us all to gold. We've come to call it the Golden Rule. It's extraordinary that we've survived as long as we have, and each day I grow more and more afraid.
Alter Schwede.
Our time in the sun is almost up. And now it seems that day is finally here. All that matters is that somebody in this city is about to break the Golden Rule. Why else would Proserpina send you now? Unless you and I can stop them, our doom is assured. I know that's a lot to take in, and you look like you have questions. Please, ask away.
Hört man ihn schnurren? Nur mal ins Mikrofon. So. Proserpina hat euch geschickt. Was soll das heißen?
You see, in my search for a way to save my people, I learned of an ancient ritual to Proserpina, the goddess of the cycle of life and renewal. It's said to open a doorway in time, so that if the unthinkable happens, one person can pass through it and travel back to the past. And when I saw you arrive in a flash of light from the goddess's shrine, I knew that person was you. You don't belong in our time.
do you? 2,000 years? That is unfathomable. Please.
Geile Story.
In your time, what did you see? What had become of us? Of this city?
Ihr werdet alle in Goldstatuen verwandelt worden.
I have imagined it, our downfall 1,000 times, but it still breaks my heart to hear the truth of it.
Wie funktioniert das? Enthallsünde?
An intelligent question. There was a good deal of debate about that in our first weeks here. Does it refer to crimes or to some other ill-defined wrong? Of course, everyone agrees on the basics. No theft, no assault, and certainly no murder. But beyond that, it was more difficult to reach a consensus. What about lying, insulting someone, blasphemy, trespass, trying to escape, bribery, infidelity, suicide? As magistrate, I had to exercise leadership, and so I made a decision. We must uphold the laws of the Empire to a standard never before seen. And we must honor the peace of the gods, the sacred accord between the gods and the people of Rome. It is only by offering the gods the proper respect that we may prosper, as Rome has for centuries.
Bin nicht sicher.
Barbaric? Barbaric? What are you talking about? The Empire is the most
2000 Jahre.
civilizing force in the known world. Rome is a beacon of light in the darkness.
Yeah.
For 800 years she has borne great statesmen, philosophers, poets, artists, and engineers. We have comprehensive laws protecting the rights of our citizens, which have unified countless warring tribes all across the Mediterranean and beyond, from Gallia to Judea. All our citizens are treated the same, regardless of the color of their skin or their sexual preference. Can you say the same? When our people are starving, they are given food rations, and when they are wronged, they have the right to bring the guilty party before the magistrate. Our laws forbid treason, murder, assault, and rape, as well as theft and arson, and so on. No other civilization in the world is so advanced, and you have the hubris to call us barbaric?
Glauben eure Gesetze Sklavenbesitz nicht?
Of course. What else would we do with those prisoners of war who would otherwise have been executed? And besides, there are laws for their protection as well.
Bietet sich euer Volk nicht blutige Sportkämpfe zur Unterhaltung an?
On occasion. But our gladiators are almost all volunteers seeking glory, or condemned prisoners who would have been executed anyway. I do not see the harm.
Okay, gute Argumente. Haben Frauen nicht weniger Rechte als Männer?
Of course, but with fewer rights come fewer responsibilities, and the right to be protected by their fathers and husbands.
Barbarisch, ja. Verfolgt ihr Christen?
You mean the blasphemous cult responsible for burning down half of Rome last year? It's hard to blame the people for being angry.
Wow, was Argumente. Der Wahnsinn. Findet ihr nicht korrektiv? Nein.
Are you talking about our practice of decimation? Of course. We could hardly unite all these warring tribes without a disciplined, formidable legion.
Da wo ich herkomme, gelten diese Dinge verdammungswürdig.
Well, right now, you're a long, long way from home.
Oh,
I
ist
have
das
made
so
my
geil.
pronouncement on the subject. Unfortunately, there are still those here who resist, whispering blasphemous and treasonous lies in the shadows. I would be keeping a close eye on them if I were you.
Funktioniert das?
All I can tell you is that it's a ritual sacrifice to Proserpina. I stumbled across instructions. I have to recite a prayer, and of course, as with all rituals, some sacrifice is involved. Usually that means wine or food, or in some cases a live animal. In this case, the sacrifice is rather more costly. the life of the person performing the ritual. I don't suppose you saw any sign of me in the future?
Ich habe menschliche Überreste im Tempel.
I assume that was me. If I'm forced to perform the ritual, it's going to cost me everything. You'll try to make sure I don't need to use it, won't you? Well, I suppose that's all I can ask for.
Warum könnt ihr der Sache nicht selbst nachgehen?
Well, I believe you're in the best position to go around asking people questions. You're new here, and it'll seem perfectly normal. As for me, well, it pains me to say my attempts to impose order have not earned me many friends. I fear I may not even remain magistrate after today's election. The people here would only treat my curiosity with suspicion. You shouldn't have that problem, though, unless, of course, you get off on the wrong foot.
Na gut. Gibt es irgendwelche Verdächtigen?
Do you ever stare at a problem for so long that you can't see it for what it is?
Das ist ein großer, weiser Mann, das
What's
merkt man ganz
needed here
deutlich.
is a fresh pair of eyes. The less I prejudice the independence of your investigation, the better.
Und ihr?
Me? Why would you suspect me? I've just told you, I'm about to sacrifice my own life to ensure these people have a second chance. What reason could you possibly have to suspect me, of all people?
Ja.
I'm glad you think so. Without trust, without each other, we won't be able to prevent what is about to happen. Well, all right. There are those who wish to vote me out of office so that they can pursue their own misguided political agenda. Frankly, their selfishness and recklessness risk destabilizing the entire city. I would be looking very carefully at them if I were you.
Das tue, werdet ihr mir helfen, in meine eigene Zeit zurückzukehren?
If I understand Prosperpina's ritual correctly, that problem should take care of itself. Let me see if I can explain. If you manage to prevent the sin that breaks the Golden Rule, I won't need to bring you here. I won't create the portal, and you will never have been able to come here. Thus, you'll have created a paradox. If this occurs, you should be flung back to your own time, having changed the past for all of us. Make sense?
Denke schon. Wow. Tipp, diese Fragen werden später verfügbar sein. Gut, das war alles.
Ah, good. So, are you with me? Can I count on you to figure out who's about to break the Golden Rule? Wonderful. Now, I need you to investigate the city. Talk to everyone. Help them, if it'll win their trust. I authorize you to enter private homes and inspect possessions and documents, unless, of course, you're asked to leave. Figure out who the culprit is, and as soon as you have a name, come back and tell me immediately. Oh, and one last thing. If I were you, I'd start my investigation by visiting Lucretia at the Shrine of Apollo in the Forum. I heard wailing from there not long ago. It seems like something's not right.
Okay. Machen wir. Oh, echt krass und sieht wirklich toll aus. Also, wow.
Ugh, I wish Horatius would stop letting barbarians in here. What do you want? I'm Sentia, eldest daughter of the magistrate. But you'd know that if you'd been invited in here and introduced properly. What are you doing in here? And why are you dressed like that? Really? I'd never have noticed, what with your flawless accent, appropriate attire, and impressive mastery of our customs. Now, remind me, why are we having this conversation?
Oh, ist die eklig. Was halt ich
You know, some people say it's the creation of an all-seeing God who's watching everything we do. But what kind of an awful, incompetent God would let my sister go missing on his or her watch?
Vielleicht wäre es das Beste, wenn ihr die Götter nicht beleidigt, nur für den Fall.
Oh, I'd say it to their faces if they had the courage to show themselves. Did you hear that? Curse you, you coward! Where is my sister? What do you have to say for yourself? No response. Nothing. That's what I thought.
Nun wissen wir zumindest, dass Blasphemie die goldene Regel nicht bricht.
I'm telling you, this mysterious god of ours has to be asleep on the job. Either that, or, like people are saying, it really is just a children's fable my father is exploiting to frighten us into behaving.
Ist aber unwahrscheinlich.
I suppose we will. Ugh, what is it with you people? You heard the rumor that my little sister escaped and figure I must know a way out too. Is that it? Well, that's just a stupid rumor. We have no idea what happened to Scintilla. I wish you mouth breathers would just leave me alone.
Und Brüter.
I don't know. Can you? Can you tell me how a person could have disappeared from a city with no exits and no crime? Was she snatched away by the Harpies?
Aber es ist auch sehr textlastig.
It was 3 weeks ago. We ate our evening meal together, and I remember she seemed happy. In love. We went into our rooms, I went to sleep, and when I woke up, she was gone. That's it.
Sie ging mit jemandem aus?
I think so, yes. But she was very careful about keeping his identity a secret, even from me.
Oh, was für ein Blick. Warum?
Because our father had plans to marry her off, eventually, and even a rumor about her attachment to some mystery man might have ruined those plans.
Der Vater hat nichts davon erzählt, als ich mit ihm gesprochen habe. Wisst ihr warum?
That doesn't surprise me. To him, it was like a prize cow wandering off from its paddock. He's upset, of course, but he says he's too busy with the election to help look for her. So he's letting Horatius do the heavy lifting. Some good that's done.
Ist es möglich, dass Lipa daran beteiligt war?
I don't know. But it's been 3 weeks since she disappeared, and he hasn't come forward. That might speak to a guilty conscience. All I know is, whoever he is, he's still here in the city.
Moment mal gerade. Ich muss mal kurz den Stream neu starten, weil ich sehe hier gar nichts mehr.
You really aren't from here, are you? All Roman women are named after their fathers. I think it's their way of branding us, like cattle to be sold at market. His family name is Sentius, so I'm Sentia because I'm the eldest, and my little sister is formerly Sentia Minor, but she is affectionately known as Scintilla.
Ich lass mal kurz raus. Aber ich weiß jetzt schon, dieses Spiel ist ein Goldstück. Sie sieht erstaunlich entspannt aus, wenn man bedenkt, dass eure Schwester verschwunden ist.
I hope you're not insinuating I'm somehow pleased with her disappearance.
Ich glaube, ihr wisst etwas, das er mir nicht sagt.
Ugh, you're awful. Get out of my villa and never speak to me again.
Okay, war nicht gut.
Keep an eye out for Scintilla, would you?
Oh. Ach so, warte.
Name's Rufius. Better watch your step. Can't talk long. Got to stay sharp, but... family's from Seleucia on Tigris. Babylon province. But I've been roaming a long time now. Even joined the legions. The 6th. The one they call Ironclads.
Und warum tragt ihr immer noch eure Legionärsrüstung?
Because we're all in grave danger. Is it not obvious?
Keine Waffe?
Magistrate made me toss it in the chasm. Stupid. Going to have to improvise now.
Wird nicht sehr Gespräch, oder?
If you were dealing with what I am, you wouldn't be either. None of your business. In Troite ipsum commensula. If we have to. If I did, do you think we'd be having this conversation? I'll tell you this much. I hate the fact that my survival depends on the common sense of other people.
Ich habe das Gefühl, ich habe eine Pandemie durchlebt.
Then you know what I'm
Wie
talking
krass.
about. I mean, all these people just bumble along like nothing's wrong. While we're one bad decision away from being wiped out. Like the last lot of people who lived here. Seems like I'm the only one ready for what's coming. Whatever that is. And when it hits, it's everyone for themselves. You've been warned.
Das erinnert mich dann tatsächlich auch ein bisschen an Dark.
I don't know.
Serie.
But did you ever get the feeling some of these statues are watching us when we're not looking? Like they're waiting for something. I don't like it.
Oh. Ich glaube noch was machen. Jedes Mal. Ich glaube, ihr seid recht.
Of course I am.
Wem werdet ihr eure Stimme geben?
Meliodas. Not sure I trust Sentius. Couldn't even protect his daughter in a city without sin.
Oh, nee.
How's he going to protect us?
Kann ich euch irgendwie umstimmen?
No.
Gut.
Whatever.
Give me a moment. Sorry I'm such a mess. I just lost a patient and a dear friend. Yulia. She was a good woman. She was poisoned. She came in here frothing at the mouth. Normally I'd treat her with resin of silphium, a rare plant which is perfect for this sort of thing. And I knew Decius had some at his market stall, right around the corner. So I ran over there, but he just looks at me with this evil smile and says, "That'll be 1,000 denarii." There was no way I could afford that, and he knew it. Then that toad shrugs and says, "Supply and demand. I guess you don't value your friend's life that highly." Anywhere else, I'd just pay a thug to steal it from his stall, but there's no way I can do that down here with the golden rule. So all I could do is come back here and just watch her die. I kept on apologizing. And now I'll never know who poisoned her, or how they managed to do it without breaking the golden rule,
or why she cursed that snake's cruel black eyes with her dying breath. Well, unless you have the power to bring someone back from the dead, there's really just one thing you can do. Get me that silphium resin. I'm going to have another patient in here soon. Could be in the next day or in the next hour. And I will not allow this to happen again. I don't care how you get it, but you have to make it happen. Because if I lose another patient this way, I swear to the gods below, not even the golden rule will stop me from marching up to that Genetricum Fututo and scratching his eyes out. Well, come back if you get sick or injured. Day or night, I'll do what I can.
Dezimierung. Was daher kommt. Penis. Katze.
May Apollo keep you safe.
Hey, Virgil, how much would you want to make me a bow?
For the last time, Dacius, I'm not making you a bow.
But why?
You know why.
But how am I going to defend myself against someone else with a weapon?
There are no other weapons in the city. We all went along with the magistrate's weapons ban, so it wouldn't be an issue.
That's why I've got to get in first
Das
before someone else
blass
beats me
und
to
mollig.
it.
Alter.
Salve, stranger, and welcome to our idyllic little slice of the Empire. I'm Dacius. Terrible shame what happened to Julia, but we just have to carry on, don't we?
Warte mal, was ein Arsch, oder? Auch etwas Silphium hat.
Certainly. All I ask is a reasonable price of 1,000 denarii. That's hardly my concern. But if you get a job, work hard and save your coins, you should be able to afford it within, say, 5 years?
Was ein Ekel.
Oh, it's perfectly legal. Simply a question of supply and demand, I'm afraid. Take it or leave it. Hear what? You sure you're feeling all right? If you're hearing things, perhaps you should pay a visit to Lucretia's clinic. We don't want another Navia on our hands. She claimed the statues were whispering to her. Nobody else could hear it. Then she shut herself in the palace and we never heard from her again. But I digress. Do you want this silphium or not? Well, if you did that, you'd break the golden rule and we'd share the same fate as the last lot who lived here. Is that what you want?
Das wüsste ich mit Sicherheit. Ich will.
Don't you dare.
F5. Ich habe gespeichert.
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
It's the statues. They're alive.
Map extra gespeichert. Ist das Wahnsinn. Fängt komplett wieder von vorne an. Warte mal. Das ist der hier. Mhm. Aber wieso hängt mein Stream schon wieder? Glauben wir also nicht. Das so stehlen, wissen wir schon, ist das Ding.
How'd you do? Ah, back again, I see. Certainly. All I ask is a reasonable price of 1,000. Very well. Perhaps I can interest you in something within your budget? Malleolus. I mean, Sentius couldn't even keep his daughter safe. What hope does he have of protecting
ja, das
us?
ist ganz typisch, ja.
Not going to happen. I'm afraid not. If you're desperate, I did hear that Aurelia down at the tavern claims to know of a way out, but I'm not sure I trust her. Some people here are a little shady for my liking.
Mhm. Die Mimik, der ist so eklig.
Oh yeah, gotta watch out. Old Dacius has got your back though.
Ja, ja, klar.
You mean, how did I end up here? That is a lengthy tale.
Boah, ist der widerlich.
All right. Well, you see, I'm in the business of procuring rare and precious objects liberated from the enemies of Rome. Mostly sculptures, vases, the occasional slave. Fetch a magnificent price in Roman high society. Had myself a nice little shop in Rome just off the Forum. Lots of foot traffic and close to the docks. Good place to be when the fires broke out. See, about 7 months ago, half of Rome caught on fire. Everyone who couldn't get to an outer gate was running for the river, open to escape by barge. So I gathered my coins and some priceless vases into a cart and had my most loyal slave girl, pretty young thing named Acantha, push it for me. All the way down to the river, I'm elbowing for a stampede of people, turning back now and then to make sure she hasn't legged it with my valuables.
Boah, ist der
To my
widerlich.
surprise, we make it, and I see this barge loading up, and it's so full it's almost sinking. But the captain's happy to take my coin, so I start boarding, and then he puts his hand on my chest and he says, "No, too heavy. The cart or the girl." So I did what anyone would have
Ja,
done.
klar. Ihr habt den Wagen gewählt, richtig?
Of course I chose the cart. I mean, I can always buy a new slave girl if I still have my money. So I put my hand on the cart, and I guess she realised what was happening because those pretty black eyes of hers go all wide. And in one swift motion, she topples the whole bloody thing into the Tiber.
Ich glaube, ich verstehe.
Naturally, I dived in after it, hoping to salvage my fortune. Only, I guess I must have hit my head or something, because everything went black. When I
Ja,
came
Schluss.
to, I'd washed up on the riverbank, not far from here, with nothing in the world but a single silver coin. I couldn't agree more. I mean, sure, I'd lost a few thousand denarii, but I've already made it back, and this place is a veritable treasure trove. Look around you. There must be more gold in here than in the treasury of Rome. If I can just figure out how to get it out of here. It's terrible for inflation is what it is. There's so much gold just lying around, it's practically worthless. At least down here. Of course, I have an idea for generating real wealth, but what I need is a bow. Just a simple composite bow. I've scoured this city from top to bottom with no luck. But if you happen to find one, bring it to me and we'll talk.
Hat der Magistrat nicht ein Waffenverbot erlassen?
Oh, well, technically yes, but that just means you'll need to be a little discreet.
Ist so eklig. Ich finde ihn aber auch sehr charismatisch. Mhm.
Thank you, friend. Very well. Another time.
Alter. Was wird hier übersetzen? Auch Pius der Dieb hat mein Geldbeutel gestohlen und ich, wer auch immer das geschrieben hat, ist nicht fertig geworden. Achso, das will ich aber nicht. Stunde. Das ist so gut.
How'd you do?
Ja, ruhig. Was habe ich jetzt? Der Tür. Dann den goldenen Rock gucken. Den ernsthaft, den hat der Blitz beim... Naja gut. Wir wissen jetzt auch, wie es aussieht. Ein Springbrunnen, der frisches Wasserbolz führt, aber woher könnte das Wasser kommen? Entschuldigung. Ich habe gerade absichtlich geblinzelt. No? Versucht nicht mir zu folgen, daraus kann nichts Gutes entstehen. Wer? Wollte ich nicht. Nicht stehlen, oder? Stehlen. Ja, ich finde es auch wirklich fantastisch. Wir können es auch nicht mehr so furchtbar lange spielen. Dann wir noch ein bisschen rum. Ach, der alte Sisyphus. Das wird automatisch gespeichert. Oh. Ich habe von oben in Malus wieder trainiert und bin davon gekommen. Wow.
Salve, friend. I'm Octavia. Welcome to life under the Golden Rule. It's a ghastly thing, is it not? How are you faring so far?
Glonia, fällt's dir auf? Hm? Gut, danke.
Ah, another stoic, perhaps. We all need something to help us through times like these. We've all been where you are now. I remember when I first arrived. I used to lay awake at night contemplating the big questions. Why am I here? Is there a way out? What is the Golden Rule, and who or what is responsible for it? I still don't have any of the answers, I'm afraid. I don't think anybody does. But I'm happy to share with you what I've learned.
Wie ist eure Geschichte? Das ist immer wichtig, weil ich habe jetzt rausgefunden, die sind alle irgendwie, also es waren wohl eher schlechte Menschen und sind alle in den Tiber gefallen und dort aufgewacht.
Here, in this place, the magistrate has me earning my keep by cleaning and pruning the gardens. It's not quite how I expected my life to go. I used to live in a lovely villa on the banks of the Tiber. I was even betrothed to a handsome young man from a prominent family. But long hours of menial labor for the good of the community has its own charms too, I suppose.
Wie seid ihr hier gelandet?
Oh, much the same way as many of the others. When the fires came to Rome 7 months ago, my family and I fled for the Tiber, hoping to escape on a barge. We were among the fortunate ones with enough coins for passage, but unfortunately, there were a lot of desperate people, and they boarded before we could depart. A scuffle broke out, and I was pushed overboard. The last thing I remember was the water, rising up to hit my cheekbone. I woke up by the river, near that shrine, and stumbled across this place. Oh, that's all right. I'm sure it's all part of God's plan for me.
Gott, meint ihr nicht die Götter?
Oh yes, of course. A slip of the tongue.
Christian.
If you like. I'm afraid not. Although, I did once hear someone gossiping down at Aurelia's tavern about a possible way out. I don't put a lot of stock in such rumors, but if you're desperate and wealthy, you could look into it, I suppose. If that doesn't work, then I suppose we're all stuck here until the gods decide our fate. I hope it works out. The many shall suffer for the sins of the one. I think about those words a lot. I'd like to think that if we all love our neighbours as ourselves and do to them as we'd have them do to us, then we'll all be fine. But on the other hand,
ganz klar.
I was always taught the intent of man's heart is evil from his youth, and that all of us are born with a tendency towards sin. And that's where I get stuck. Is it true? Are we born with a tendency towards sin?
Das glaube ich nicht. Ich glaube, Menschen sind grundsätzlich... Nee.
If that's true, then sooner or later, things are going to end badly for all of us down here. Unless, of course, there's some kind of divine intervention.
Auf jeden Fall.
I wish I shared your faith.
Seid ihr Christen?
Please keep that to yourself. I know you're not from around here, but things are very difficult for us right now. There was a terrible fire in Rome last year, and our emperor decided to make us his scapegoats. There were executions. It was horrible.
Erinnert dich, also Zyklonia, die Schauspielerin oder dieses Gesicht, erinnert dich die an irgendjemanden eher männliches?
Oh, thank you. You have no idea how much I appreciate that. All right, well, it was lovely to meet you. I look forward to getting to know you better over the coming months. And if you ever...
I can't believe this is how it ends.
Oh no. No. No, 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 no. Ulpius, what are you doing? Get back from there. If you lose your balance, you'll fall.
That's the idea.
What? Why?
Aber wenn der jetzt
Why
stirbt.
would you want that?
Why do you think I'm stuck for the rest of my life working for a man who treats me like an animal?
I know things are hard for you right now. They're hard for all of us. We're all in this together, Ulpius. Please, please just think this through. If you do this, it could be the sin that seals all of our fates. Is that what you want?
I'm sorry, but I just don't care anymore.
Please, Ulpius. Help him. If he goes through with it, it could be the end for us all. I don't know what to do. I've never had to deal with this sort of thing. Please, you need to talk to him.
Wirklich?
I don't know, but it's a crime for slaves to take their own lives. And a debt bondsman isn't far off.
Will ich nur reden?
Thank you. And please,
Nee, es ist
choose
keine
your words
Ähnlichkeit.
carefully.
If you're trying to make it easier for me to build up the nerve, it's working. Let me guess. You're going to lecture me on how suicide is a crime against the Empire.
Das ist falsch, ne? Genau. Nein, ich finde, ihr solltet das Recht haben zu sterben, wenn ihr zu sehr leidet.
You're not going to trick me. I'm no coward. I intend to go through with it.
Ich denke einfach, dass es Gründe gibt, ein Leben zu bleiben.
Like what? I'm stuck slaving away for that culus cumulatis for the rest of my life. What do I have to live for? You're just saying that to buy time. You must think I'm an idiot. I'm out. Wherever you are. Scintilla, my love. I'm sorry.
Ulpius, no! I can't believe he went through with it. Oh Lord. That poor lamb.
Selbstmord hat die goldene Regel nicht gebrochen. Was bedeutet das?
Well, I suppose it means suicide isn't a sin under the Golden Rule. So I guess that means whichever god is responsible for it, it isn't mine. That was not your fault. There's no way you could have given him what he wanted, moments after you arrived. I'll have to let everyone know what happened. And I guess Malleolus will have to clean up the mess in his villa. It's of his own making, after all. And I'd best pray for poor Ulpius.
Man kann von hier aus in die Villa. Mach ich.
Thank you. I am delighted and deeply honored to have been elected your magistrate. Yes. Thank you. I'm delighted and deeply honored to be elected your magistrate. And now...
Okay.
And now, I make this solemn promise to you, good citizens. And now, I make this solemn promise to you, good citizens.
Wow.
Under my leadership, you will finally enjoy the freedom you deserve. And, yes, no more...
Did you just leap into my villa from the balcony 100 feet above? That was either extremely reckless or impressively clever. Well, why have you risked life and limb to see me?
Was ist eure Geschichte?
I'm Malleolus, and if it wasn't for this interruption, I'd be practicing my victory speech for the election later today.
Was werdet ihr unternehmen, wenn ihr gewinnen solltet?
I'm glad you asked. I'll finally restore freedom to this city, just as I've been promising. These good people have suffered long enough under Sentius's tyranny.
Wie wollt ihr das tun?
By declaring there's no such thing as the Golden Rule. It's a children's fable exploited by Sentius to frighten
Wir
us
wissen,
into
dass es anders
submission.
ist.
Wait, don't tell me you've fallen victim to that monstrous lie?
Das macht euch sicher, dass es nicht real ist.
The person making a claim bears the onus of proving that claim. Can you do that? Can you prove the Golden Rule is real? Why? What credible evidence do you have for its existence?
Was ist nötig, um euch zu beweisen, dass ihr echtes Bücher, Notizen? Auch wenn ich es nicht beweisen kann, wenn ich recht habe, wird dieses Wissen eine Katastrophe abwenden. Und wenn ich falsch liege, wird es die Stadt zu einem besseren Ort machen. Das ist eine gute Sache. Was ist nötig, um euch zu beweisen?
I disagree. I'll be guided by what is best for the city's people, and that means giving them the freedom to do as they wish. Surely, you're not one of those people who believes everything you read. As if a lie could be transformed into the truth by the simple act of writing it down.
Wie ich sehe, wird nichts, was ich sage, euch überzeugen.
True, but that is simply because you are mistaken.
Weiß ich.
I'm afraid not. We're stuck down here together, for better or worse. We're all going to have to make the best of it.
Haltet ihr von der Grundregel, weiß ich doch.
You mean the children's fable exploited by Sentius to scare us all into doing what he wants? I trust you can see yourself out. Through the door this time? There's a key just beside it.
Uns geöffnet.
Thank you. Thank you. I am delighted and deeply honored to have been elected your magistrate. Yes, yes. Thank you. I'm delighted and deeply honored to be elected your magistrate.
So, das haben wir geschafft. So, aber ich würde sagen, wir speichern hier. Machen Schluss. Danke. Ich werde das jetzt hier so hochladen, aber vielleicht auch in Folgen schneiden und eventuell werde ich es noch weiterspielen. Ich werde mal gucken, das gefällt mir sehr. Ich sag aber für alle, die auf YouTube jetzt zuschauen, danke fürs Zuschauen, macht es auf jeden Fall gut, lasst ein Abo da. Ich mache da irgendwann eine Grafik, so wie die anderen zum reinfliegenden Dings, wo Knopf und Ping. Aber im Moment muss ich es noch sagen, ne? Und